What if everything you were taught about how to make a woman fall in love with you is exactly what's pushing her away? I'm not talking about some abstract theory. I'm talking about something that happens every single day, in silence, without anyone noticing. There are men who give everything they have. Men who surrender completely. Men who do exactly what society tells them to do: be nice, be available, be devoted, and yet, they end up alone. Not because they lack something visible. Not because they're bad guys. But because nobody ever explained to them how the human mind actually works when it comes to love. And the worst part? The harder they try, the further they drift from the result they want. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you over the next few minutes is going to radically change the way you understand relationships, attraction, and yourself. Women don't fall in love for the reasons you think. In fact, the two real reasons have nothing to do with the romanticized version of love you see in movies. They are rooted in deep, unspoken psychology. And once you understand them, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Let's dive in. Let's start from the beginning. There is a very specific moment when most men lose a woman without even realizing it. It's not during an argument. It's not when they make an obvious mistake. It's much earlier than that. It's the instant they decide, unconsciously, that their worth depends on her approval. That small internal shift changes everything. Because from that point on, every action, every message, every gesture stops coming from a place of abundance and starts coming from a place of fear. And the human mind, even without putting it into words, detects that difference with brutal precision. Think about the last time someone tried desperately to impress you. There was something about that dynamic that made you slightly uncomfortable, wasn't there? You couldn't point to it exactly, but you felt it. Something smelled like need. Even if that person said all the right things, there was something behind every single act, a silent agenda, a search for validation. That is exactly what happens in romantic relationships, but multiplied by 10. You were told a story since childhood. A narrative that seemed logical, even noble. You were told that love is proven through devotion. That if you truly care, you sacrifice yourself. That the more you give, the more you deserve to be loved in return. But that idea has an enormous crack running right through its center. It confuses devotion with need. It confuses generosity with emotional dependency. And above all, it assumes that love works like a transaction, that if you accumulate enough points, she'll have to feel something. But love is not a debt. And psychology has been proving this for decades. Here is the first real reason women fall in love: emotional safety through autonomous stability. Now, I know emotional safety sounds like a buzzword, but let me explain what it actually means in practice. It is not about being soft, agreeable, or never rocking the boat. True emotional safety is the visceral sensation a woman gets when she realizes that your emotional state is entirely your own. That it cannot be derailed by her moods, her silence, or the chaos of the outside world. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The way you react to the possibility of loss, to the uncertainty of her feelings, reveals everything about your internal foundation. Most men today lack this foundation. When she pulls away, they panic. When she's quiet, they overanalyze. When she tests the boundary, they fold immediately to appease her. They believe that yielding, apologizing, and constantly checking in is how you show care. But psychologically, this registers as the exact opposite of safety. It registers as a liability. Imagine you're on a boat in a storm. The waves are crashing, the wind is howling. You look at the captain. If the captain is frantically running around, sweating, looking at the sky in panic, how safe do you feel? Terrified, right? But if the captain is calm, hands steady on the wheel, eyes fixed on the horizon, you settle. The storm hasn't changed. The captain has changed how you experience the storm. You are the captain. Your emotional stability is the vessel she is stepping onto. When a woman feels that a man's happiness and stability depend entirely on her reactions, a weight lands on her shoulders that she never agreed to carry. It is exhausting. She has to manage his emotions just to keep the peace. She can't be vulnerable because if she pulls away to process her own feelings, he falls apart. But when she meets a man who is anchored in himself, a man who enjoys her, desires her, but does not need her to regulate his nervous system, that is when she can finally exhale. She doesn't have to perform. She doesn't have to walk on eggshells. She can be messy, complex, and real, knowing he won't drown in her waves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." A man who has realized this is a fortress. He doesn't need her to be his fortress. He already is one. And she falls in love with the peace she finds inside those walls. This isn't something you can fake. You cannot pretend to be unaffected. Human beings are extraordinarily good at detecting inconsistencies. The moment her guard drops, your anxiety will bleed through. Real stability must be forged through self-mastery. It's the ability to feel deeply, without that feeling destabilizing you. It's caring for someone without needing them to be the source of your equilibrium. When she senses that you are whole on your own, her attachment doesn't come from obligation, it comes from genuine desire. Now, let's talk about the second reason. This is the one that almost no one teaches, and it goes against every romantic instinct you have. Women fall in love because of the psychology of investment. In behavioral psychology, there is a well-documented phenomenon called the IKEA Effect. Researchers found that when people put effort into building something, like assembling a piece of furniture themselves, they value it significantly more than something that came pre-assembled. Even if the pre-assembled one is objectively better, the one they built with their own hands feels more valuable. Why? Because they invested a piece of themselves into it. Their brain justifies the effort by assigning greater emotional weight to the result. Relationships work the exact same way. A woman falls in love not just because of what you give her, but because of what she invests in you. Her time, her energy, her vulnerability, her choices, every time she invests, her brain tells her, he must be valuable, because I am putting my resources into him. And here is where most men fail catastrophically. They do everything. They pay for everything. They plan everything. They initiate every text. They adapt to her schedule. They anticipate her needs before she even voices them. They give, thinking that this unrelenting generosity is the way to win her heart. Brother, you are eliminating every opportunity for her to invest. You are solving all the problems before she even knows there is a problem. You are filling every space before she has a chance to step into it. And the result? No matter how much she appreciates your generosity, she never develops deep attachment. Because what costs nothing doesn't hurt to lose. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." And one of the greatest wastes is the time you spend doing all the work in a relationship while she invests nothing. Because when she invests nothing, she feels nothing. Think about it. If you hand someone a fully completed puzzle, they might say, "Nice picture." But if they spent 3 hours putting that puzzle together, they feel a sense of ownership over it. They want to frame it. They are proud of it. A bond built by only one person is not a bond. It is a one-sided dependency with an expiration date. When you step back and allow her the space to invest, when you let her plan the date, when you let her reach out first, when you allow her to support you emotionally, you are giving her the gift of ownership in the relationship, She is no longer just a guest in your life, she is a co-architect. This doesn't mean being cold or playing games. It means resisting the impulse to fill every silence, resolve every uncertainty, and do all the emotional heavy lifting for both of you. It means trusting that if she wants to be there, she will show up. When two people build together, the bond has a completely different kind of solidity. So, let's look at where these two reasons intersect. Reason 1, autonomous stability. She feels safe because you are not a burden. Reason 2, psychological investment. She feels connected because she has skin in the game. When you combine these two, you get the holy grail of female psychology. A woman who feels safe enough to let her guard down, and invested enough to want to stay. But here's the paradox. Most men do the exact opposite. They have no internal stability, so they become a burden. And they overinvest, so she never gets the chance to build attachment. It's the perfect storm for heartbreak. I've talked to so many men who were completely devastated after a breakup. They'll say, "Tony, I did everything for her. I gave her my heart. I was always there. How could she just leave?" And my answer is always the same. Exactly. You did everything. You left no room for her to do anything. You became a mirror, reflecting her life back to her. But nobody falls in love with a mirror. Love is not fusion. It is an encounter. And for there to be an encounter, there have to be two distinct, real individuals approaching each other from their own center. When one of the two doesn't have that center, what happens is not love. It is dependency disguised as devotion. And dependency, no matter how good the intentions, creates an unbearable burden over time. So, how do you apply this? How do you shift from being the man who chases love to the man who attracts it? First, you must build your emotional foundation. This starts with radical honesty. Ask yourself, which part of my stability have I outsourced to a woman? What version of myself remains if I remove all the energy I pour into trying to make her stay? If the answer is nothing, then you have found your work. You don't need to find a woman, you need to find yourself. Build your purpose. Reclaim your time. Cultivate your mind. Develop the kind of inner quiet that comes from knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. Epictetus taught, no great thing is created suddenly. Your emotional autonomy is built in the small moments. It's built when you feel the urge to double text, and you put the phone down. It's built when she seems distant, and instead of panicking, you go to the gym. It's built when you feel the fear of losing her, and you choose to remain centered in your own truth. Second, you must allow the space for investment. Stop doing all the work. If she doesn't initiate, don't immediately fill the void. If she has a problem, listen and support, but don't rush to solve it for her. Give her the dignity of effort. When a man builds a life so rich, so purposeful, and so stable that a woman's arrival does not complete the picture, but rather adds color to it, everything changes. He stops asking, "What do I have to do to make her love me?" and starts asking, "Who do I need to become to live a life worth sharing?" That shift in focus, from the outside, where you have no control, to the inside, where you have all the control in the world, is what separates the men who beg for love from the men who command it. The relationships that last don't come from chasing. They come from two people who meet when both are already building something on their own. They choose each other not because they need each other to survive, but because they make each other better. They stay together not out of fear of loss, but out of the active pleasure of continuing to build. That kind of relationship doesn't need to be maintained through constant anxiety because it has roots. Both have truly invested. Neither is holding the other in place. They are choosing each other, day after day, from a place of genuine freedom. And reaching that place starts with you. Not with her. Not with the circumstances. With you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your thoughts are colored by purpose, self-respect, and autonomous stability, your soul reflects that. You become a source of strength in a world of chaos. And in a world of men who are chasing, a man who is centered in himself is a rare and irresistible thing. Be that man. Build that life. And watch how everything changes. If this video hit home, drop the word foundation in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found value in this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. We dive deep into the psychology of relationships and self-mastery every single week right here. I'm Tony. I'll see you in the next one.